So, yesterday, Congress was trying to pass a continuing resolution and thus trying to avoid a government shutdown. Now, what they won't tell you, which we had to learn from Republican, politicians and people on social media, is that they tried to pass a 1,500-page bill that was bloated with $110 billion in spending. What's more worrying is some of the things that was in this bill, right? Now, here's the beautiful thing, and this is why Elon buying X just might have saved this country. So the Democrats did what they usually do whenever they try to pull this crap. They will get a bill and they'll print it out, and it'll be this humongous monstrosity. 1,000 pages, 1,500 pages, 2,000 pages, because this is not the first time they've done this. Okay? And then what they'll do is the day before everybody has to vote on it, they'll deliver it to all of the politicians that night. Why would they do that? Because after you've had a long day at work and you're getting ready for bed, because you got to get up in the morning, you're a politician, you got to vote on something. Do you want to be sitting up in the middle of the night reading 1,500 pages trying to figure out what's in it? But luckily for us, we have Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy.
Johnson proposal.
The American people don't send their representatives to Washington to vote on a 1,500 page bill in less than 24 hours that spends $110 billion.
So this is what Vivek had to say about it.
Congress is about to pass a bill that blows away your taxpayer money, but they made it over 1,500 pages long so you wouldn't read it. I did you a favor. I read it for you. It's supposed to be about keeping government operations open and providing disaster relief aid to hurricane victims, which I'm sympathetic to. But if you read the bill carefully, it contains pay raises for members of Congress, and I'm not making this up, an expansion of their federal health benefits. It contains all kinds of special interests and pork funding, including opening up a new stadium in Washington, D.C. It renews the Global Engagement Center, which is a key node of the censorship industrial complex. And the worst part is, they didn't want you to know about any of it, and that's why they made this a last-minute jam job. The reason I'm co-heading DOGE is I think we need outsiders to bring actual accountability to Washington, D.C. So feel free to call your congressman and let him know how you feel about it.
Now, here's the beautiful thing. The beautiful thing is Vivek read it, saw all of the BS in it. Elon Musk immediately tweeted. He went to Twitter and pretty much told the American people everything that was in the bill, to which the American people, the same people that voted for Donald Trump in a landslide, the same people that won him not only the popular vote, but the Electoral College, the same people that made the entire country damn near red, immediately started contacting all of their respective representatives and flat out told them that if you vote for this, you will not have a job when it's time to be elected again because we're going to primary you. They received phone calls, they received emails, and guess what happened? The Republicans listened to the American people and did what they were supposed to do. Now, as the gentleman said in the video that I showed you, that is the way our country is supposed to work. Now, the hilarious part about it is you got people that don't know what was in the bill talking about what is Elon and Vivek doing? They're trying to shut down the government. Who's really going to be president? Trump or Elon Musk? But this is what they don't know. What they do not know, like Vivek said, hidden in that bill was a 40% raise for Congress and an expansion of their health care benefits. That's right. We are in debt to the tune of trillions of dollars, and they're trying to give themselves a raise on your dime. They're trying to expand their health care coverage while many of you are struggling to have and keep health care coverage. That's one thing they put in there. The other thing that they put in there is funding for what is called, let me see if I can pull it up.
Congress is about to pass a bill that blows away your taxpayer money, but then
This is a completely
What else was in there is funding for this.
It's terrible, but this is business as usual. I mean, it had Chuck Schumer. I've been fighting Chuck Schumer on this censorship enterprise. This global engagement center that's funded in here, we thought we had killed it. Chuck Schumer got it back in here. This is essentially
That's
the
why
entity.
he's smiling tonight.
Yeah, this is the entity that is funded to censor conservatives. We should not be doing any of this stuff. We need real reform. President Trump's going to usher it in, but this thing's a disaster. So my hope is in the House they start from square one and actually have some fiscal responsibility.
I mean, a clean.
It's terrible.
Did you hear that?
But this is business as usual. I mean, it had Chuck Schumer. I've been fighting Chuck Schumer on this censorship enterprise. This global engagement center that's
They had funding in there for the Global Engagement Center, which, from what I understand, the sole purpose of that organization is to basically censor conservatives on the internet. You know what else they put in the bill? They put a stipulation in the bill that no one should be allowed to read the emails of anyone in Congress. Now, in my opinion, outside of the pay raise and the expansion of their health care and this organization for censorship, the main reason why they are so adamant about getting it passed is for the email thing, for the email piece. Because if Trump gets into office, when Trump gets into office, and Kash Patel and Pam Bondi and the DOJ decide to start investigating, how are they going to investigate if they're not allowed legally to subpoena and read emails? And that's why I said the Democrats are scumbags. That's why I said they're liars. Because they'll get up on the podium and they will pretend that they are so concerned about the government shutdown and making sure that people get paid and all of that, when really they're just trying to cover their behinds. Now, if you want some context as to how big this bill was, here is a photo that Elon Musk posted Let me pull it up for you because I reposted it on my X account. So, you see that? Elon said yesterday's bill versus today's bill. This is what they were trying to pass. This is what they were trying to pass. And this is what they were able to get it whittled down to that the Democrats voted against today. Now, do you see why Twitter being in the hands of Elon is so important? Because guess what? Twitter was still in the hands of Jack Dorsey or some other lefty, you wouldn't have never heard about this. It would have got passed, and we would have heard about it in hindsight. Trump went to Truth Social, and he said, success in Washington. Speaker Mike Johnson and the House have come to a very good deal for the American people. This is the whittled down version that I was telling you about. The newly agreed to American Relief Act of 2024 will keep the government open, fund our great farmers and others, and provide relief for those severely impacted by the devastating hurricanes. A very important piece, vital to America First agenda, was added, as well as the date of a very unnecessary debt ceiling will be pushed out 2 years to January 30th, 2027. Now we can make America great again very quickly, which is what the people gave us a mandate to accomplish. All Republicans and even the Democrats should do what is best for our country and vote yes for this bill tonight. And I am here to report to you that they voted against it. They voted against it. Now, keep in mind, they whittled it down, but what did it include? It included keeping the government open, paying the government employees, funding the farmers and others, and providing relief for severely impacted people severely impacted by the devastating hurricanes. And the Democrats voted against that. In fact, this is what they had to say.
The Musk-Johnson proposal is not serious. It's laughable. Extreme MAGA Republicans are driving us to a government shutdown.
It's laughable. Paying government employees, funding farmers, and giving relief to hurricane victims is laughable, according to Jeffries. It's laughable. Because he couldn't get what he wanted. Because the Democrats couldn't get what they wanted. Right? I mean, you can't make this up. You cannot make this up. No matter how hard you try, you can't make it up. And by the way, let's see. Here is a list of the 38 Republicans who voted against the Trump-endorsed continuing resolution. So the resolution we just discussed that was whittled down from 1,500 pages to a much smaller size, which probably eliminated all of that bulk and all of that crap that the Democrats wanted, right? These are the Republicans that voted against it. Aaron Bean, Republican, Florida. Andy Biggs, Republican, Arizona. Josh Bretchen, Republican, Oklahoma, I guess. That's Oklahoma. Tim Bruchette, Republican in Tennessee. Well, they all Republicans, but Eric Burleson, Missouri. Kat Kamek, Florida. Michael Cloud, Texas. Andrew Clyde, Georgia. Ellie Crane, Arizona. John Curtis, Utah. Jeff Duncan, South Carolina. Russ Fulcher, Idaho. I think that's Idaho. Bob Good, Virginia. Paul Gosser, Arizona. Andy Harris, Maryland. Wesley Hunt, Texas. Doug Lamborn, Colorado. Debbie Lesko, Arizona. Lauren Boebert, Colorado. Morgan Luttrell, Texas. Nancy Mace, South Carolina. Thomas Massey, Kentucky. Rich McCormick, Georgia. Corey Mills, Florida. Alex Mooney, West Virginia. Blake Moore, Utah. Troy Niels, Texas. Ralph Norman, South Carolina. Andy Ogles, Tennessee. Scott Perry, Pennsylvania. Bill Posey, Florida. Matt Rosendale. What is that? That's not Michigan. What is that? It's Montana. Chip Roy, Texas. Wow. Chip Roy and Nancy Mace being on this list is surprising to me. David Schuerk, Arizona. Keith Self, Texas. Victoria Sparts, Indiana. Tom Tiffany, Wisconsin. Beth Van Doon, Texas. Now, this is what's ridiculous. This is what's ridiculous about this whole thing. The Republicans won. They won the presidency. They won the House. They won the Senate. So why do we have to tolerate a bill that is primarily proposed by the Democrats of 1,500 pages of $110 billion in bloat? Why do we have to tolerate this? See, they have gotten to the point where they are undermining the American people. That's what they're doing. Because if the American people found out about this and called representatives, emailed representatives to put a stop to it, it means the American people don't want it. So if the American people don't want it, why are they still trying to shove it down our throats? See, these individuals have not realized that they are only governing by our consent. We, the people, are supposed to decide what's going on. Now, here's the amazing thing about all of this. The most amazing thing about this entire situation is the fact that they've been doing this forever. The only reason we know about it now is because of Vivek, Elon, and Trump. It's the only reason we know about it. It's the only reason that we know about it. In other words, they are willing to basically keep us ill-informed and pass all types of bills that basically will keep us in debt and protect them from whatever shenanigans and chicanery that they're engaged in. And you got people running around here that don't even know what's in the bill, and they're defending it. And you know what this reminds me of? They're already behaving the same way they did when Trump was in office before. That's why it was so laughable when Kamala Harris sat up there with Shannon Sharp on Club Shay Shay and said that we're the ones that got the American people their stimulus checks. Donald Trump just signed his name to it. Bullshit. They did the same thing with the stimulus checks. If you remember, Donald Trump was trying to get the money approved, and they were fighting him tooth and nail. It's time, man. It's time for the American people. Well, the American people have already woke up. Awakened. The American people have already awakened. It's time for more Americans to continue to wake up. Because this is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. There's literally no other way to describe it. Absolutely, utterly ridiculous. So for years, because like I said, this isn't the first time they've pulled that crap. They've done that a few times, where they'll make up this massive bill and they'll deliver it in the middle of the night and then they got to vote on it the next day.
The American people don't send their representatives to Washington to vote on a 1,500.
I don't know why TikTok does that now. Here's a blast from the past. How many of you remember? I probably won't be able to find it, but how many of you remember when Nancy Pelosi said, we got to pass it to see what's in it?
We're very, you've heard about the controversies within the bill, the process about the bill, one of the items, but I don't know if you have heard that it is a legislation for the future. Not just about health care for America, but about a healthier America, where preventive care is not something that you have to pay a deductible for or out of pocket. That prevention. It's about diet, not diabetes. It's going to be very, very exciting. But we have to pass the bill so that you can find out what is in it away from the fog. Very exciting. But we have to pass the bill so that you can find out what is in it.
You got to pass the bill to find out what's in it. David said, wow. Yeah, y'all probably never saw that clip. Press 1 if you never saw that clip. Press 1 if you never saw that clip. She literally said that. They have gotten so comfortable doing things that they don't even hide it anymore. They say it. They show you who they are. She said you got to pass the bill to find out what's in it. And you know what Elon Musk proposed? This is what he said. This is what Elon Musk said. Elon Musk, the people that the guy that people all of a sudden now hate. You know what's crazy? Before Elon bought Twitter, everybody loved Elon. Do y'all notice a trend? Before Donald Trump became president, everybody loved him. Now they can't stand him. When Tulsi Gabbard was a Democrat, all they did was praise her. All they did was give her props. Now that she's with Trump, oh, she's a Iranian asset or Syrian asset or whatever the hell. Elon Musk buys Twitter, exposes the left for their unconstitutional censorship, makes Twitter balanced again. Now all of a sudden they hate him. You know what he said? He said that every single bill that Congress drafts and presents should be available in digital format and should be posted so that the American people can see it 7 days before they vote on it. Do you realize this is the reason why they don't like him? This is the reason why they don't like him. Because guess what? That 1,500-page bill, it would have been nothing to go through it if it was digital. Because all you'd have to do is upload it into ChatGPT and it would analyze it like that and tell you everything that's in it. But they continue to print it on regular paper so that you got to flip through it and read it. And then deliver it the night before they vote on it so that nobody can read it. And pretend that the bill is only for hurricane relief, to pay government employees, you know, shit like that. Meanwhile, there's a bunch of other things in it that they just cram in there. Like it's impossible for them to vote on one thing. But that's why they don't like him. Because if Trump, Vivek, Cash, RFK, Tulsi Gabbard, Elon Musk, Pam, once they get in the full swing of what they're doing, as long as they do what they say they're going to do, it is quite possible you will see a drastic change in the way this country runs. A drastic change in our government that may lead to a golden age in America. It's possible. For the first time in a long time, it is possible. And the amount of people in the private sector that are giving pushback against this it's frightening. It's frightening. It's frightening. But yo, shout out to Anthony. He said it pissed Jasmine Crockett off, I'm sure. Shout out to Bootzilla, said Pelosi saying that is like a sports team saying we don't have to play the game, just give us the win. Yeah, exactly. Shout out to Raven House. He said, thank you, news anchor. Shout out to Jeremy. He said, cook, general. Shout out to Sheffrey again, said, you just read the villain script and the prologue. Appreciate y'all. Let's see. So, with that being said, I appreciate every last one of you guys for tuning into the show and hanging out with me. Shout out to everybody that contributed to the show. Shout out to my man Spencer for being a sponsor. Try to say that 3 times fast. Make sure you guys go check out my book. It's available on Amazon. All you have to do is type The Angryman Standard in the search bar on Amazon and it will come up. If you want to check out the merchandise, all you have to do is go to shopBinoNation.com. Again, that is shopBinoNation.com. But other than that, I'm going to get up out of here and I'm going to holler at you guys tomorrow. Deuces.
Spartans! What is your profession?